Hi, this is Mitch Mitchell of I'm Just Sharing. Notice I'm wearing a white shirt today. Now, you may not think this is such a big deal, but I think the last time I wore a white shirt, just a plain white shirt with nothing on it, probably either in the early 2000s or late 1990s. I know that the day I got married, I had to wear a white shirt because my wife asked me to wear a white shirt. So I wore a white shirt with a black bow tie, and actually, I have no idea whatever happened to that shirt. I know I didn't do anything with it, but maybe my wife gave it away, or maybe I threw it away somehow. I really don't know. But I'm not usually a white shirt guy, and I decided to wear a white shirt the other day or today, because, well, I found a shirt for $3.99. It was a large enough shirt for me, and I said, let me buy one along with some other shirts. Now, you're probably wondering, why is he talking about white shirts? I'm not necessarily talking about white shirts. I'm talking more about colors. You know, look at my background here. I mean, I've got the red background because red is my favorite color. Red and black are my favorite two colors. And I love having those kinds of colors. But when it comes to blogging, there's, this thing about colors that says, you need to have something that makes people feel comfortable and makes it easier for people to read. And that's, it's kind of true. If you've got a pink background and you have green print, you know what? No one wants to read that. It's just difficult. So, we have those kinds of things. We have the standard black print on a white background, which can work okay. But you can have other colors. But this isn't just about that kind of color. People like to talk about blogging, and they talk about what a blog looks like, and trying to attract the eye. But I'm one of those people who really believes content is one of those kinds of things. And there's a lot of boring writing. There just is. We all know that. And I think that sometimes people need to find ways to make their writing a little bit more colorful. I'm not necessarily saying to go get a dictionary and start using a bunch of words that you and no one else really knows the definitions of. But what I'm saying is that sometimes we don't express enough. For instance, yesterday I went for a walk at the lake. I've been out of town for a while, so I went for a walk at Onondaga Lake Park. And for once, instead of just walking and looking at the lake itself, kind of took a slow walk, and I noticed that we have all these placards and signs up. And for the first time ever, and I've lived here 38 years, first time ever, I went up to some of these placards and I was reading them. And it's amazing what you can find out about your own area just by reading some of your own stuff. Now, most of us are the types of people who, if we live in a town with something that everyone else thinks is famous, we just don't go because of our own idiocy, stupidity, obstinance, whatever. So I decided to read some of these things, and I found out some very interesting things about my own lake that I didn't know. There's some things I did know, but there's some things I didn't know, both the lake and the park. And if you try to convey something like that, and I just said, well, I just went to the lake and I walked and I came back and I had a good time. Okay, that sounds nice, but it doesn't really say anything. But if I say to you, so I went to the lake and I stopped at all these different placards and I read about the history and I took pictures of them, and I also took pictures of some of the flowers that I saw there, and I took some pictures of the boats because there's a marina there, and some of the boats were large boats and some of them were small, and the water looked beautiful, and out there were the ducks, who were swimming around, and I saw an occasional fish, and the people who were walking up and down that I saw couples holding hands, and I saw people walking dogs. I saw some really pretty people, okay, pretty girls, and I saw some guys who were jogging with the, athletic, no shirt kind of thing. And as the sun was streaming through, I saw what I call the no-see-ums, which are those little tiny bugs that for whatever reason they hang around trees, and when the light comes out, they're all in there, and you see them during that time period, and you can try to walk around them. Now, I've just added a little bit more to the story. I've made it a little bit more colorful. Now, some people will say, well, that just stretched it out. You just made something longer, which is true, but I've also given you a little bit more detail. I've given a little bit more depth. I did not try to rush through trying to get this thing done. And so I painted that colorful picture in this colorful room, wearing this white shirt with this nice brown skin. Yes, I said that. And I've got Snoopy over here with Woodstock and, their colors and whatever. And, I think that when you can look at things like that, it makes for a more enriched experience for everybody else and yourself. You know, I think that sometimes we rush through this world a little bit fast, trying to take care of our obligations instead of every once in a while slowing down and saying, let me kind of enjoy this. Most of the times when I go to the lake, yes, I love to look at the lake. I love being there, but I'm usually going for exercise, which means I'm just walking really fast to a certain point, maybe the entire lake at some point, and walking back. And my focus last night was just a little bit different, just to go for relaxation and seeing things. And like I said, 38 years. First time I've ever noticed any of those signs. That's a shame. But think about it. What do you go through life every day missing? You know, when you're driving down a road, are there things that you miss? And then if you're thinking about that, think about your blogging. Are there things that you're writing about that maybe you just aren't being colorful enough? I just asked the question. I put stuff out there. So think about it a little bit. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you even watch the videos, you know what? I'm going to keep putting them out here until you start watching them. So you might as well start watching them and commenting on them anyway. So anyhow, like I said, this is Mitch Mitchell of I'm Just Sharing. Y'all take care.